Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Mancunian way. Oh, let me just clean my camera. I'm very fuzzy. That's not very 1080 HP. Good evening, Patrick. How are you, mate? How's sunny Sydney?
Very good, thanks, mate. Not as sunny as I think City fans' perspective on that match has been, but all is well over here in this big brown land. Which I think we're going to get onto shortly.
Patrick knows why I'm biting lips at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to have a rant this evening, but I'm not going to do. I'm going to be very professional. But if I hear one more fan bang on about Pep Guardiola, get out of my football club, I'm going to scream bloody murder. I really am. Sorry, I am. Because I know, but no, I'm saving it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to do a show next week that hopefully I can get Pat on and everyone. I want to get as many on as I can. I'm going to do a whole show about fan base. Because this fan base has changed.
And this isn't just from one game, Martin. This is just being slowly gradually increasing. It's been increasing from week by week, season by season. Yeah.
This is increasing now. And we may end up losing subscribers and viewers and everything else, and I apologise for that. I'm not having a go at anybody within the Mancunian way community. Everyone's allowed an opinion. What I don't understand is the vitriol hatred that's coming out now towards Edison, towards every other player now. Don't ever moan about Liverpool fans. Any City fan who is on Twitter or anywhere else saying, Pep, get out of my football club, Edison, get out of my football club, I am sorry, but don't ever, ever moan at Liverpool fans ever again. Don't ever moan at United fans ever again. Because you are doing exactly the same as them.
It's what separates us from them.
That's all I'm saying. This fan base was special. This fan base was different. This was City till we die, not City till we don't bloody win. I'm going to stop because I'm going to go.
It was bound to happen at some point.
And I don't want to do it. Because me, Ozzy and Richard worked bloody hard on this channel, alongside Alan, alongside Pat, alongside Vader, alongside the early Bert. We built this channel with the help of Rob, with the help of other people, built this damn channel to what it is. And I'm not going to throw it away. What I'm just going to say is, the end of the day is some fans need to remember why they were Manchester City fans.
We stayed humble.
Anyway, speaking of a moaning sod, evening, Alan.
Good morning. It is in sunny Melbourne. How are you?
Don't even do it, Alan, with the mood I'm in, because I will rip you a new one.
I've just been listening to you carried on and ranting and carrying on. So there we go. You okay now?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. No, I don't want to divide the fan base, Mr. Roll-Up. What I want to do is this fan base was nothing like United fans. It was not City till we stopped winning.
I know. So I was texting you during the second half, and you were having.
And I had to stop texting you because you'd have got an absolute vitriol back.
I'll be honest with you. I thought we played well first half, but saying that they sat off us and let us play, and we deservedly went in 1-0 up, and thought we were controlling the game well. There was times when I thought that. I was frustrated that we weren't playing the ball through to Mr. Haaland when he was making lots of runs, and he did it in the second half. The amount of times he was making runs, and we didn't feed him. And I do get frustrated that especially when they start going backwards. I thought second half they put an extra man in midfield. They put someone on that right-hand side, which causes a lot of issues, and changed their tactics. I just thought I got frustrated with them because we didn't press from the front in the second half, and I felt we were a bit, lethargic in the second half, passing the ball. But they pressed us, but it's up to us to press them back when they do that sort of thing. I thought there was a lot of people in the pub that were getting frustrated why I didn't put subs on, which I would have done. I would have brought Foden on second half just to start pressing them high up the pitch and pushing them back. And there was a stage in the second half where I thought I was getting worried that we might concede a second. So it was more frustration than anything else, I thought, to be honest with you.
I know, Alan. I just think the frustration, and we're going to stop in a minute and go back to our normal thing of lineups and everything. I understand it's frustration.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's right.
You've got to admit there's a lot of more vitriol hatred coming out this year towards players. Towards Pep. To everything.
Yeah, if you go on Twitter, that's what you're going to get, because you've got the bandwagon fans that are on Twitter that have just started supporting. They weren't.
No, you keep saying it's Twitter.
I know.
It's Twitter. Stop saying it's Twitter. It's not just Twitter. You want to win here a bit, podcast.
With all due respect, there's a lot of new fans, especially the younger ones that have grown up with City winning. They haven't been through the main road days like me and you, Martin. I was there in the 70s, and then the 80s when we're getting beat by Halifax Town away from home in the FA Cup, and the dark days of Division 1 and 2. So we they haven't been through that. We have. Yeah, there is an expectation now of us doing well. I understand that and get that. But today I thought we were frustrating second half. I don't know what Patrick thinks, but I thought we were frustrating.
Well, let's get into it. Good evening to Carl, Patrick, Alan. Hope you're all well. I've had my little rant. I had to get it off my chest. I'm sorry. I will do a more civilized, analytical viewpoint next week when I've calmed down. But I've been holding that in for a long, long time, and it had to come out. And there's a lot more wants to come out, but I won't say it. Anyway, hello to everyone in the chat. I will catch up. There's nearly 70 of you in the chat. I will get to your superb comments. I don't want to ignore everyone. That's why. Right, the lineups. Obviously, Manchester City changed it today. Probably, everyone wanted a back four. Alan, you've been begging for the back four for God knows how long. You got your wish today. Manchester City. Well, go on. What?
Yeah, well, I thought we defended all right first half, but second half when they put the man in midfield,
we started with Edison.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Kyle Walker, Kanji, Aki Ruben, Rodri, Gundogan, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Erling Haaland. On the bench now. This is obviously, we'll get to the bench situation in a bit. Calvin Phillips, Ortega, Alvarez, Gomez, Perón, Carson, Foden, Charles, Palmer, Lewis, Robertson. 11 subs can be named in the Champions League, if anyone does not know. So, that's where we're at this evening. Right. Patrick, we'll start with you. That starting 11. Was you surprised with that, or?
No, I was quite happy with it, given who was declared not fit or ill for this match. I was happy with that. Not much else to say. I thought back four was the right move, given the speed of play and the counter-attack and the way that Leipzig attackers can get in behind defences. Christian, I think, said in the comments, they are a good team. They did beat Real Madrid in the group stages, and they are just, I think, about 3 points off the top of the Bundesliga. So they're a competitive team. I think we set up well against them. Alan alluded to the first half. I thought we played really well. Defensively, we were fantastic. Yeah. The amount of times we caught them in an offside trap, and given their speed and pace of play that they can play, I thought defensively we were fantastic. Second half was a completely different story. I think we'll get on the second half a little bit later, but I've got a little bit of a different perspective on how we played, given the circumstances of what players were missing and also overall where our position is in the season for all competitions. So I think there was actually a bit of additional man management as well as tactics in that second half. That's just how I feel. But we'll discuss that as we go on with the show. But yeah, the first half filled me with a lot of promise, and I kind of had a feeling that if we were going to score, it may have been off a mistake, and that's exactly what it was. And I felt comfortable in that first half, and then the second half, I should have felt more uncomfortable than what I did. But I think there was more things going on there than just playing at a slower tempo and feeling like it was like Forest all over again. There was something to this game that just felt like he's playing more. He's playing chess more than checkers. He's thinking a few steps ahead.
Carl.
Good evening, Martin. Good evening. I'm here. Good evening. So saw the lineup, and I said I wasn't happy with the lineup. I think I tweeted it out. I'm not happy with that lineup at all. Wasn't happy.
You wasn't?
No. Wasn't happy.
Why?
Because Ilton has played 180 minutes in less than a week, and he's playing another 90 again. When this game needs energy and passion and pace and youth, not a 31-year-old who's played 270 minutes in 6 days, 7 days. No. And then to make it worse, no subs.
So who would you have played?
Bring on Alvarez. He's a World Cup winner. Has the energy. After a while, Jack was tired. You could see he was tired. Bring on Phil Foden. Play him left.
Well, that was my issue with you, mate. I was happy with the lineup at the start, but I felt he should have used his substitutions. So after 60, when they made their changes after 65 minutes, I certainly would have brought Foden on. I possibly would have put Alvarez instead of Haaland, because for me, Haaland did win when we did play it long to get out of trouble. I felt that he didn't win any of the headers. He wasn't holding the ball. His first touch was poor. I felt Alvarez should have come on for him. I'll be honest with you. I think Haaland was getting frustrated because the amount of times he ran down the channels and down the line and down the middle, and all it needed was that ball to go through. I know it was tight because we didn't play well. We kept playing backwards.
Right. Hang on. But it's not Haaland's fault. It's a manager's fault. And I'll explain why. Erling Haaland's making those runs in the channels all the time, right?
Yeah.
Who do you have feeding him? Gundogan, Bernardo, and Rodri. Do they pass balls in behind? No. They control the ball. They pass it backwards and sideways and backwards and sideways. And when Gundogan gets in the box, his shot is as weak as my left pinky. Can't shoot. He tries to pass it into the goal. So if you want to have Haaland running behind, then in FFS, play Alvarez and Foden, who can run with him and make the pass.
Well, he didn't use the subs, which is a ball of contention for me. I think that's where I was happy with the lineup at the start, but when things started to change and they put an extra man in midfield, second half, and they started to dominate the game, and we didn't react to it, and we were holding on for grim death at one point. I thought we need to change it. He should have used the substitutions, and he didn't.
And what?
I don't understand why he doesn't do that. I really don't.
This is the second game in a row away. He hasn't used his subs. Why?
Yeah.
I
know why he doesn't do it, because we've got so many games. He wants to keep people fresh, doesn't he?
But then you're prioritizing games that you haven't played, and you're playing a game right now. Where you can kill this tie, you take one game off the table. You kill this tie 3-1, 3-0, it's done.
Well, I think he was satisfied with one each at that point. I think, to be honest with you, I think he was. I think, Patrick, you're right there. He was, after about 70 minutes, we were satisfied with the one each draw, which, don't get me wrong, with the players that we had out defensively and the way we've been playing over the last 6 weeks, I think if someone had said to me, it was a 1-1 draw at the end of the day, I would have took that, considering we've got to go back to the Etihad. But I get frustrated with the players and the manager and the team not reacting to what they did in the second half. I got frustrated with it. And that's, to me, is a problem to me. And the lack of Haaland must be so frustrated because of the amount of runs he made today, and we were shouting, pass it to him, and he went sideways and backwards. And I was frustrated with that.
There is an overemphasis, and I talked about this all the time, all season. There's this debate and fight between control and verticality, and we're in between both. We're not quite sure what to do. We have a guy who's a deadly striker who's vertical, yet we're playing with control.
Yeah,
So
I know why they're doing it is because they pass that ball and it goes straight to them. They're on the counter, and that's why they're not playing with a lot of confidence that way. But I understand Pep wants to keep it tight until we get back to the Etihad, where, with all due respect, it's going to be a very tight game there, very tight.
And I think we'll win comfortably the Etihad. I think we will. I mean, they just have to. And the games at home against a big team, we've won comfortably. Chelsea, United, Tottenham, even Liverpool, we beat them at home comfortably. You know, it's just that you're away, and you just make no subs. It's like I just.
Yeah, but he does it. He does it every week. He does it every week. He does it every game.
Do you know what? I listen. I am with everyone on the frustration with some of the subs. I get it.
Yeah.
Pat, this is not going to be popular, and I understand that. And Carl, you know what I'm going to say here. I know it's not popular, and I've got no agenda on this guy whatsoever. When we signed him, I thought, yes, get him. We've got him. I'm happy. Carl did a show on it about this player, and it was a superb analytical viewpoint, and it was really good. But I'm sorry, right now, I don't trust Calvin Phillips on a football pitch. That's my issue. And I know people say, well, bring him in for legs. I get that.
Yeah, but we're not saying bring Calvin Phillips. We're saying bring Alvarez.
Martin, I'm struggling to understand why you say that when he's not even getting a game.
Because any minutes he's played, Alan, he's been absolutely bobbins.
Yeah, I can't remember when he played.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't even feel comfortable with him starting against Bristol next week.
Why?
Because he's not shown anything in when he's played any minutes, Alan.
Yeah.
He looks scared.
Yeah.
Do you know what he reminds me of?
He doesn't even look like he wants to play. He just plays sensible, sensible conservative football, even if he's, concerned of, getting used to Pep's tactics, despite the fact that he's been on and off all season because of injury.
And I am
doesn't even want to at least fall into. Yeah. If he just played mediocre or conservative football, that would be okay. I was like, well, he's making progress from his injuries, but he just doesn't look good at the moment. There's always an opportunity for him to get better as the season goes on, but
Alvarez
right now, it's not happening right now.
Alvarez should have come on for legs. I agree with that.
And
the problem is with Alvarez, for me, watching him at Manchester City, because I think I view him very differently for Argentina and City. He doesn't play the same for City than he does for Argentina because he plays differently. And that's not his fault. That's tactical and systematic and all that. To me, Alvarez needs 30 minutes to get involved, go in. And
he doesn't need 30 minutes, Martin. He doesn't need 30 minutes.
He does, Carl.
How? How does
the last 4 appearances, Carl, he's been a waste of space when he's
Martin, Alvarez, 20 minutes is better than Gundogan on 270 minutes at 31 years old. He has more energy.
Only thing, Cal, was obviously with De Bruyne being absent or ill, was I think Pep's hand was forced in midfield. He had to play Gundogan.
No, but whenever Kevin's not played, Alvarez comes in. That's what happened the last time he played.
Oh, not always. I mean, he started doing it after the Tottenham home game, but that was really the only sort of significant game where it was effective.
You have a 31-year-old who has played 180 minutes in 5 days or 6 days, and you play him away again when he's tiring after 60 minutes, and you do not change him. That's on the manager. That's either the manager doesn't trust his team, right? Or something has gone wrong with his mind in terms of his psyche around, I'm so scared of the Madrid game.
Like for like, who's he going to replace in midfield? You can't put Phil Foden there instead of Gundogan because Gundogan, despite the fact that he's playing more minutes, he keeps the ball better. Phil Foden is more prone to giving the ball away in midfield, and
Patrick,
we know Leipzig are a fantastic counter-attacking team. That's the only thing.
Play a 4-2-3-1. Play Alvarez behind Haaland. Play a 4-2-3-1. You don't have to play 4. Adapt. You don't have to play 4-3-3.
I don't mind that. On paper, it sounds good. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, 4-2-3. Great Alvarez behind Haaland to press.
he wanted to keep it tight and not give away another goal. We conceded a bad goal, in my opinion.
Yeah,
which could have been avoided from a set piece.
Every goal we conceded.
Alan, at the start of the second half, it felt like Pep was playing.
With all due respect, mate,
it was a foul on Diaz.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, it was a foul.
It was a foul,
Alan. I felt like
he literally uses Diaz.
Can I ask you a question? Why didn't we get a penalty right at the end?
We'll come to that.
Has anybody seen that yet?
I'll get to that.
It was the biggest handball.
We'll get to it.
You know it's a handball when all of the red pundits on BT are saying that's a handball.
Yeah, well,
because they would look for any grey zone. They look for any grey zone to say City. Well, we're not going to say that it's a penalty, but they couldn't justify anything else other than a penalty.
It was a penalty.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. And he could have done
two-handed. It was effectively a two-handed fist, like a keeper does when clearing out a corner.
Yeah. I'm just right. You three just talk. I'm not playing nice because the comments are.
You've had your hang on. You've had your rant at the City fans.
Excuse me, Alan. I'm just going to control the comments because they're all arguing at the moment. You saw it, they're all arguing. Play nice in the comments.
Getting back to what Alan said, I feel like what the second half basically said to me with the no substitutions, and obviously Pep would have liked to have finished the game 1-0, and we could have defended a bit better, and if we didn't make a mistake, it probably would have been that way. But I just felt like after they scored their goal, I felt like we were playing for what effectively was a tactical draw. They conceded, so we were going to make sure that we didn't concede anymore. That's just how I felt, and I think obviously Stones, Laporte, and De Bruyne would have forced Pep's hand to probably not make substitutions, because again, like for like, maybe he's just not confident with the bench that he's got at the moment. So he felt like he needed to play, the full 90 minutes with that squad. And then when we go to Bournemouth away, hopefully we'll have Laporte and De Bruyne at least ready, fully fit to play that game.
I just wish we'd played some forward passes towards Haaland. Don't you agree, Pat? Because it matters.
Yeah, a little bit more. And to be honest, when we did get balls forward to him, it was actually a fantastic battle to watch between him and Gvardiol, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He looks promising. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Khaldoon was in the stands up there at Leipzig tonight watching Gvardiol doing a bit of scouting.
Well, he impressed me. I'll be honest with you.
Gvardiol, yeah.
I mean, first half, I've got to say, I wasn't proud. We were total domination first half. That's why I put game of 2 halves. We were totally dominant first half. Absolutely dominant to a T. It was probably more dominant than Forest. We were that dominant in it. Did we create a lot? That was probably the frustration. But Kevin De Bruyne's a real funny situation. Because when he plays this season, he's frustrated. When he's not there, you notice he's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like a catch-22.
You felt like there was a big hole in that midfield today. You felt like there was a big hole.
It's the chicken in the egg. And you sit there, and I know he could have thrown Phil in, and he could have thrown Grealish in. He could have done anything today. But for me in this Champions League, I said it earlier on your show, Cal, and I said it on the preview, if you remember. I think this whole system, this whole control situation is all down to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu last year. He's scared the backs out of him. He sat there, 2 goals to the good going. Thanks very much, I'm in. With 5 minutes on the clock. And we're still trying to push to score goals. And we got picked out twice and ended up going bye-bye. And I think he's thought, you know what, I'm going to manage ourselves through to this. Because everyone's saying it's time for the Champions League. Maybe this is just Pep's way of getting to that point of managing the Champions League. Maybe he's just going, you know what, I'm going to game management this all the way through to a point where I'm going to keep it as tight as I can in the Champions League for as long as I can. I've got control, but the game's tight. But we're in control.
Tactical draw. It was a tactical draw.
I may get the occasional pick off, but we're in control. When we go to the Bernabeu and we go 1 or 2 up, we're not going to do a Liverpool and start going 3, 4, 5 and slap 5 with no response back us at the other end.
Do you know what worries me at the moment? Because they've got that. Do you know what worries me at the moment is that because we play so not dynamic, not attacking, is that if we concede the first goal in a return leg, I don't know how we're going to score against this lot because they play a low block.
I understand. I don't think we'll have an issue.
Leipzig will give you space. They'll give you space.
Down the sides they will. Down the sides they will because of the system they play.
Yeah, but then then has a choice. See, this is where for me, right, the return leg, I'm not starting Grealish. No, hell no.
Who are you playing? Foden?
Yes. If you want goals in that box, you have to stop.
I'll tell you something, and Martin was right in the last stream. We're missing a fully fit and fully informed Foden, big time, in my opinion.
Yeah,
big time.
If you want goals, Jack Grealish not your game. If you want control, the game today was a Jack Grealish game. Control, keep the ball.
Yeah, he played well. Grealish.
He played well.
Grealish has been our best player since the World Cup.
Yep.
But if you want goals, if you want final third goal conversion, he's not your guy. He's not the guy.
The thing is, though, Carl, he's the guy who is scoring and assisting since the World Cup.
How many has he scored?
I think he scored 3 and assisted 2 or 3 since the World Cup.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
It's more than Foden. It's more than Bernardo. He's doing it more than other players.
I've got a guy called Kevin in the pub who sits usually right near me all the time, and he hates Grealish with a passion. No matter what happens with him, he calls him. But to be fair to Grealish, since the World Cup, he's been brilliant, and he has been good. But we need to get Phil playing the way we know he can do. And to me, against Bristol, he has to play. And I'm sorry, Phillips, so does Phillips. If you're going to get him into any sort of form, he needs to play minutes. Because he's not going to resolve that unless he's playing. For me.
Well, Alan, your mate Kevin's got a long way to catch up to you, mate, because he only hates one player and you're on about 6 or 7 at the moment, aren't you?
No.
He's got a long way to go. It's like master and apprentice. You're the Jedi, he's the Padawan.
Exactly. No, I just think he needs minutes. I just think he needs minutes on the pitch.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll be straight with you. I am with Carl, Pat and Alan. Not bringing on subs was. But here's the scary thing here. We are talking like this is a new phenomenon. Do you remember Palace away last year?
He's done it all the time. He does it all the time. He's done
it for 7 years. Palace away last season, we created, I think it was 32 chances.
Yeah.
And we drew 0-0.
Yep, I agree.
I think he brought 1 sub on in the 89th minute.
Yep. Palace away last season was our Forest away this season.
But do you know what I mean? This phenomenon of substitutions ain't new. It ain't new. What's bugging me a lot this season is like the passing of the backwards, the going sideways. It's always happened. You're just noticing it more now because it's a little bit slower. Because he's after the control rather than the directness down the wings that we used to have. He has always been, because I've said it, I went back looking at videos of our channel last year. I said the exact same thing last year. He went backwards, and then when he goes from the right, he'll cut across to the left, and when he goes from the left, he'll cut across to the right. It's not new, but we're talking like it's new.
No, I think it's more than anything else.
Ladies and gents,
I think it's more than anything. This year, you are right. We are looking for more control, but second half the tempo was wrong as well. Do you agree with that? The tempo was slow.
100%.
But we've had
100%.
many games this season where we've had a slow half.
Well, I'm going to ask Carl this. Can you have tempo and control at the same time without?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to.
I mean,
with this
classic
team,
case. Nottingham Forest away last weekend. Tempo and control. Sloppy goal to concede. We were brilliant. We were absolutely quick. And this is what Phil Foden brings to the table. Phil Foden changes the game with his quickness and directness and his passing. Where it fit Phil Foden is better than Mahrez and Grealish combined every day for me because it's unpredictable. And when Pep comes out and says Phil needs to learn how to do pausa, which is more control, why? What made Phil special is his unpredictability and directness. You want to change him now to Iniesta because you want him to have more control. Why? Use him as he is. You didn't change Messi into, Iniesta. Let Phil go do his thing.
Yeah, but Carl, we know there's issues with Foden at the minute. He's got to overcome them.
We played well against Forest. For me, missed a goal but played well.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying it, but what I'm saying is we've got to allow Foden to come back in his own confident way. Is what I'm trying to say. I think you don't have to be a rocket science to know there's been issues with Foden this year.
Yeah, I get that, but
but you can't just light switch it and on he comes again.
But he played well against Forest.
Players take different things to come in. He's still a young lad.
He played well against Forest. Footballers always want to play. Kids always want to play. Playing gets them out of trouble, right? The more they play, the better they get. Play him. Why is he on the bench?
Well, I did say he played nearly 90 on because he hasn't played for 3 months. He isn't just going to play 90 and 90.
They're playing for 45. Play him 45. Grealish played 270. Play him 45.
I think you won't like this, but Grealish brings more than Foden at the minute to his style.
Grealish slows the game down. He's good in moments, but in that box, I don't trust him in that box. Don't trust him. And if Grealish doesn't score...
Did you trust him last Wednesday?
If Jack doesn't score, all of a sudden it's all Erling Haaland. It's all Erling Haaland. But with Foden, we know he can score if he gets his chance and takes his chance. We know with Alvarez, his snapshot, he can score.
I think from everyone's saying, I think everyone's just frustrated with them at the moment.
They've been frustrated for 6 months, Alan. This is the problem.
But
this is the problem. We're second. We're in all 3 competitions, and we're doing a Liverpool from last night. This is what's blowing my mind. I listened because I was laughing last night. Listening to Liverpool fans have an absolute meltdown last night. Klopp out, You were sending me texts having giddy. And the next day,
I was laughing my head off.
Some of our fans are doing the exact same thing, and we're second. Still in all 3 comps.
I think the problem is,
and it was only 1-1 away against a solid team.
Yeah, I don't think the problem is the result. I think we're all fine with the result, and we're the only English team to even get a result. In the Champions League round of 16, the only English team. Liverpool lost, Chelsea lost, Tottenham lost against Milan. The issue is the fact that you have a bench. We could see they were tiring. All of us saw and asked for subs, and he made no subs. That's the issue. I think people are struggling.
I'm sorry, I'm way behind on comments. I will catch up.
Alan, I think that's the issue people are struggling with. Is that why didn't you make a sub? They might as well stay in Manchester. Foden and Alvarez and all these guys might as well stay back home.
There was really only Foden or Alvarez, though, Carl. Everyone else was literally kids.
Doesn't matter. Play them. Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag.
You can't play the academy guys, mate. No.
You can't throw the academy out in the last 6.
The Leipzig manager threw 5 subs on because he was looking for any way in that second half to get additional goals because he's probably worried that we're going to, we're a chance of bagging 2 or 3 in the first 20 minutes in the second leg.
You're telling me that you cannot play a Maxi Perron for 15, 20 minutes in that game?
Not a new player hasn't set foot on the pitch in England or Europe yet. Not yet.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Because he's a new player who's just come from a different continent.
That's the way he does it.
You can't. Nah, not yet.
Eric Ten Hag,
I appreciate what you're saying.
Eric Ten Hag plays a 16-year-old in the first game, gets a result. Other managers play young kids who play in. Why not our manager? Why not?
Yeah, Garnacho's a bit of a different situation, I think, mate, because he's been playing him in since the start of the season. This is a January signing that's just come from another side of the world. Pep's never going to throw him straight into the deep end. He will bed them in slowly. He
That's
may
the problem,
get 10,
Patrick.
15 minutes against Bristol next week and that, but that's it.
That's a problem, Patrick. That's a problem. If you cannot trust a player who comes in that you pay for to play a game for 15 minutes in a game where you know your first team is tiring, we have a problem.
Yeah.
If you can't play a World Cup winner who played with Messi with 4 goals in the World Cup when you need a goal for 10 minutes, that's a problem against Forest and against Leipzig away. It's a problem.
Yeah. But then also too, Pep doesn't do it because he doesn't want it to be a problem on the pitch.
How's it a problem on the pitch? How can it be? We drop points at Forest, we drop points against Leipzig.
Yeah, but a player with no experience in England or Europe, you're asking to throw him in the deep end in a knockout stage in a European competition.
Alvarez
you can't do it yet. You can't do it yet. We're still talking about Brian, but yeah, you can't do it yet. Not
so
yet.
Alvarez that won a World Cup, playing with Messi in the World Cup, can't come in.
Look, I'm okay with Alvarez playing this game at some point, especially considering especially as the second half went on, you could see the gap between the midfield and Haaland. He was all alone.
Yeah, he
was a man at sea. He was a man at sea. He was like he was in a dinghy and he was surrounded by an opposing navy, a fleet of ships or something like that. That's what it looked like. Now I think if Alvarez was up there, could have got a little bit more support. Of course, the only problem is then we're a man down in midfield, and I think at Leipzig, would have had even more opportunities at countering. So again, that's why I think when I look at that second half, I feel like okay, we didn't get the win, but I feel like it was almost like a tactical draw.
I'm going to
Pep
tell
wanted
you
to keep the players on the pitch. He wanted to play that, continue that system, continue that tempo. He didn't want to bring in other substitutions that may have upset the rhythm, upset the balance. He would have, of course, ideally would have liked to have gone through with a 1-0 win, but I feel like as soon as they conceded that goal, or we conceded that goal, Pep shut up shop, kept the system the way it was, and we played to a tactical draw.
The thing with Alvarez, I like Alvarez. I'll be straight with you now. There are fans who have still got their not agendas. They've still, what's the word? They've still decided on him. I've heard it from one extreme.
You've got to protect Alvarez because if you don't, you've got a young player. I said who's played football for 18 months.
Hear me out, Martin. Hear me out on this, right? It is ludicrous. It is madness to think a guy who played for River Plate. Now, I know River Plate, and they play big games. Copa Libertadores, big game. A guy who just won the World Cup, who battered Chelsea, who battered Forest at home, cannot come in for a tiring Gundogan to play. And you can change to a 4-2-3-1 and play him as a 10 behind Erling Haaland. Because of what? It makes no sense. We need to ask the questions of the manager. We need to ask these questions, guys. If not, there's no point.
Carl, I'll tell you why he didn't do that. Because he was playing for a draw. Fact, he was playing. As soon as they equalised, it was a mistake from two parts with set piece. As soon as they equalised, he then played for a draw. No question.
And he had to play for a draw with what was on the pitch. He had no Michael defenders.
Oh, he's afraid of Leipzig.
No, the thing is, I'm going to be straight with you now. There was two trains of thoughts on Alvarez and Perón when we come in. There were some fans who were, play them, they're ready, World Cup, let's go. The local media here were like, no, that for the future, they're going to be slowly bedded in. And you sort of went on either side of the fence. And I was on the bed them in, and then they'll come in later. And then I switched. I went, no, Alvarez is ready now. And I'm still there. But I think it's probably plain to see that they are for future. For example, Carl, they just are. No. That's the way he wants to do it.
I mean, I've had the pleasure, Martin, of watching Alvarez for over 2 years. Playing every single game in
Carl, I understand that, but it's
I'm telling you, Martin, this kid is ready to play in that first team, especially with tiring players. Take out Gundogan, bring in Alvarez. He's tired. He played 270 minutes at 31 years old. The Forest game, right? They were tired. They just played Arsenal midweek. Forest brought on 4 players. We made no substitutions. Play him. Why not play him? What's the worst that can happen? You can see the goal. Okay, fine. But at least have a strike force to go get a goal. He's on the bench.
See, I don't agree with Andy here. Don't know how we are second. I can't see us staying there or even in the top 4.
I don't.
I think
it's opinions, I guess, but I don't agree with it because I think
Martin, I just think that you have got a point about them about the Real Madrid last game, about them collapsing. They did it against United. They collapsed. As soon as they scored the offside goal, United, we collapsed. It's happened a couple of times to us. All right, he has got a problem, and it's for them to get sorted out. But we've got to get, we're missing Foden and an informed Foden so much it's ridiculous for me. He's one of our best players, and he's not getting on the pitch to get his form back. And for me, to get his form back, you've got to get him on the pitch.
Got to get him on the pitch.
Whether it's shit or not, you've got to get him on the pitch. We miss him a lot. For me, a lot.
Get him on the pitch. I mean, think about it. Gundogan, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva have played 270 minutes in 6 days.
Yep.
Flores played 90. Alvarez played 0.
Yeah.
And you're away to an energetic Leipzig who bring on 5 players with energy, and you don't make a sub. And we're asking, oh, it's okay. We'll play for a draw.
He was playing for a draw there. You know it and I know it.
Tactical draw.
Then what made the guy special to me?
Patrick's right. He kept it tight. As soon as they equalised, he kept it tight. It was a tactical draw. And that's the way it was. And we have to accept that's what he was doing. Yes, we were all frustrated. I was sat there in the pub in the Imperial this morning. Look, everyone's screaming for a sub, and everyone was screaming to play a forward pass to Haaland. We didn't do it.
Okay, let me throw this one at you, though. Do you think he was like, I know, I don't want to say he was scared of Leipzig. He's still the last 16 of the Champions League.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, he's probably seen it as a hardish game. Like you said, take the point, go back to the Etihad, beat them there.
Well, it's not taking the point, but it's going back one each. It's going to be
take the 1-1.
Yeah.
And we'll outscore them at the Etihad.
What did Pep say in 17-18? You have to play football with what? Courage. Where is that Pep?
Yeah.
Where is that Pep that talks about playing football with courage?
Because he did it at Madrid and it backfired on him.
Madrid.
Doesn't matter. Still, a courageous person does what is necessary.
Can't say one brave Pep needs to learn, and then when he learns, we say, "Where's that brave Pep gone?"
No, but Martin, but you have the players. Gundogan has played 270
Does he have the
minutes.
players? Does he?
Yes, he does.
You're telling me. Hang on, Martin. You're telling me Foden's not.
Sorry, Alan. It's your show, mate. Off you run.
No.
He's going to run now.
Are you telling me Foden's not a decent player? Because we all know he is. You're telling me Foden's not a decent player.
No, but he's not in form, Alan. And you know why.
Yeah, I know exactly why.
So exactly. Why are we sat in having that debate there?
What do you do? Leave him off the pitch for the rest of the season. Leave him off the pitch for the rest of the season.
No, the point is, like Cal said, 17-18 is good. Do you know what the big difference is? That was 5 years ago. We still have Gundogan. We still have Kevin De Bruyne.
We're younger. They're more lively. They can play every 3 days.
Martin, the point is, Gundogan is 31 years old. He played over 250 minutes. You have 2 kids on the bench who have energy. Play them for 20 minutes.
It's not Pep's way, Carl.
If Marco Rosa,
4 years to get regular first team football, Carl.
If Marco Rosa can make a change at halftime to recognize the danger that Grealish is putting on his right back, what is the manager doing on making a change? Why? Why take it to Leipzig?
But that's just in-game management. Yeah, he's made a mistake, but he might have the reasons behind it. But you can't go, well, that manager's done that, because Pep Guardiola, Pep Guardiola's the greatest manager in football at the minute.
No doubt.
Won everything there is.
But great managers make mistakes sometimes.
Yes, of course they do. But the trouble is, you made a great point there about 17-18, but what I'm saying is, it's 5 years on. And people go,
my point about 17-18
is different.
my point about 17-18 was his words. You have to play football with courage. You know what? Arsenal are top of the league. They play football with courage, no fear. No fear. Whether it's Zinchenko or Jesus or Eddie Nketiah, they play football without fear. They believe. We play football with fear. We adapt to Leipzig because we're afraid of what Leipzig is going to do to us. Now, I'll tell you this. I watch Leipzig, all their games. If you don't go there with courage, you will not win. Ergo, what happened today?
Okay, let me just throw this one to you then, Carl. He does that, what he did at Madrid, plays with courage. We get knocked out.
Madrid is not Leipzig. They're two different teams. They're not
No,
Leipzig.
but we talked in the preview about Leipzig's pace and their scoring abilities.
Yes. Yes. But even with that, first half, we were on it. We battered them. Possession, everything. Perfect game. Second half, he brings on players. Rosa, retire. Make the change, guy. We're waiting. 60 minutes, no change. 70 minutes, no change. Goal is scored, no change. Nothing. Why? Where's the courage? Maybe it's me. I don't know, Patrick.
No, it's your opinion. I'm just saying is Pep's in a bit of a no-win situation. Does he do a Madrid and gamble, or does he not and does what he's doing and manages his way to a final?
He's answered again here. He says why he went on the pitch and spoke to the team. I think I told you about this car. I don't know, Patrick, if you saw it, Alan and Martin. He went on the pitch and spoke to them. He says he's going to answer some of the things people are answering. He says they had their heads down. I said, why are your heads down? Put your heads up. That was a really good performance and the way you played. If people don't like it, it doesn't matter. So he says it doesn't matter for him. I think it's him who gave them that particular strategy. I think that's what he wanted. As I heard you guys, I was watching you guys. I think it was a strategy. I think he wanted to take the safe way home. But just the thing I think which annoyed me personally, I'm the same with Cow, is somehow when I watched this game, I somehow said, this is not enough for us, but two, they have made subs and they're pressing us now, and they seem to have more energy. And Gundogan, Rodri seem to be out of it. I was like, if we don't make changes, I think they're going to score. I just feel like you're right. We're overplaying some of these players. And I said it, Martin, on my stream, that maybe he doesn't trust the bench. Or maybe he's making a sign, he's making a voice to the board saying, I need better players. Or maybe he's telling the players like Phil Foden, Phillips, and Palmer that I don't really trust you guys. I need you guys to step up your game. I'm going to leave in a few minutes, but all I wanted to say is I'm enjoying this stream, guys. I'm going to continue watching it in bed. Guys, support this channel, like the vid, and subscribe. That's all from me. To be honest with you, now I've come down a bit. I've taken the 1-1 draw. I saw the next leg is after weeks and weeks. So maybe City will rip them apart. Maybe they will. I don't know.
I love Pep, right? I like him. I'm just asking the question. I'm trying to understand in my mind, right? You coach, Martin. I coach, right? In my mind, if I see a game where there's a weakness and have subs on the bench, I see my players tired, I'm making that change to at least control it. And then maybe we can sneak one, but not making any substitution. How does Phil think? What does Alvarez think? What's going through their mind? Joao Cancelo, we know what happened to Joao Cancelo. He leaves.
Carl, Pep's been doing this for years where he doesn't make any substitutions. And Martin is correct about that. And it is a frustration, I agree. But this is not new from Pep. He was playing for a draw. As soon as they equalised, Pep was going, right, I'm shutting up shop. You know, Bernardo and Rodri, even though Rodri was really tiring, in my opinion, second half, he was playing for a draw. And he did play for a draw.
Alan, in a perfect world, if we hadn't made that mistake to concede the goal, I think Pep was playing for a tactical 1-0. He conceded and then shut up shop and it turned it into a tactical draw.
I mean, I agree with that. That's what he probably wanted to do. My only argument is that, I mean, surely Phil has more energy than Gundogan on the field. Phil.
My issue is how did you get Phil? How did you get Phil back in form? There's only one way of doing that, and that's playing him at some point. That's the only way. We need him. We actually need him.
We all said we kind of know there's going to be changes in the summer. We know there's players going to be coming in.
I hear, Martin, I hear about the summer, but you have an opportunity now. Right now, Liverpool or Madrid, one is going to go out, right? Bayern and PSG.
You know who's going out, Carl.
Right, we know.
No
Right? So Liverpool are going out, right? Bayern or PSG are going to go out, right? You get a lucky draw, the path opens up. The path opens up. Next year, no guarantees. Not with the league, not with the Champions League, with nothing.
I don't think there's ever this Mel. You know me on the Champions League. There's never any guarantees, were there? Because like tonight, no, but like tonight, you had that handball at the end where the guy just literally, I think he was playing volleyball.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's the problem with the Champions League. I'm not saying it's to make what I'm saying, but that can win you or lose you a Champions League. If that makes sense. And that's why I'm always suddenly in and out with it, because I'm sat there going, because when that tonight was disgraceful. I'm not going to say what others have said. That was the reason we didn't win. No, Pep didn't make the subs he should have done. But I think we'll see a whole different team at Bournemouth. Just my opinion. I think we will. I think Foden and all them Alvarez come in at Bournemouth. I think you'll see Perot. I think he's just he may get minutes in Bristol City game.
Well, we'll have a look at it, won't we?
There's going to be time. I just think.
Do you think Kevin and Laporte will play? They should be back.
They should be. But I just think that we'll have a look. We'll have a look at him. We'll see him. We'll see
for the second leg, we're going to have Kevin back, probably Laporte back. We're going to have Stonesy back.
Mm.
So how far Stones away, mate? If you mind me asking.
It was a week or 2 weeks, about just before the Forest game. Perhaps said he was due back soon.
We've missed him actually because when he gets the ball, he runs forward with the ball as well. And
yeah.
I honestly, maybe it's me. Like maybe I'm too happy clapping. I don't know. Tell me in the comments.
Maybe I've rubbed off on you, mate.
Pardon?
Maybe I've rubbed off on you.
No, I'm of the opinion 1-1 away from home in the Champions League.
It's good. It's good.
I'll take that. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's good. I wish
do you want to do a Liverpool and play the risk and reward game? Because Liverpool, got to remember, it's 2 legs. Liverpool played risk and reward last night, and what they ended up doing was risking everything for the reward, and now they go to Madrid with nothing.
I hear you.
But Klopp is sat there going, there's nothing I can do now because there is no way I'm going to go to Madrid and win 4-0 and Madrid don't reply at the other end. Not a cat and hell's chance. So what he then has to do now, Klopp, he's sat there going in the Madrid game, there's nothing I can do now. We're good as out. Thanks very much. See you later. It's over. Yes, on one side, Pep makes subs tonight. But on the other side, he could have made subs and we might have lost.
Fair. That's a fair argument.
And then bloody hell, we were in control. There was no need for that. So that's what sometimes Pep can't win.
The only caveat is, Martin, is that, yes, we can control the game, but Gundogan and Roger played so many minutes. They were tiring. Surely you can bring in Foden to help out and at least close the game out. That's the only thing.
It's not Pep. That's my only thing. Someone's put here, I thought Leipzig were going to be better. Yeah, I agree with that. I was disappointed in Leipzig. I actually thought they'd have made it more of a football game.
Who out there was scouting Gvardiol? As you mentioned before, who out there was scouting Gvardiol? Because I thought he was.
I just want him in our team.
There's your Laporte. Yeah, there's your Laporte replacement if he goes to Spain.
Yeah,
go back to Spain. Yeah,
love Laporte, but if you're unhappy and you want to move to Spain,
he's like a Diaz Laporte hybrid. He's like a Diaz Laporte hybrid because he's a big barnstorming absolute brick wall of a defender, but then he's also Rolls Royce with his left foot.
Yeah,
I think he looks real.
Do you know what's really weird? We don't have a bench like Alex said. Do you know what's really weird? 1 week our bench looks like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks later, it looks like a recession, a school recession. And you're like, hello, what's happening here?
That's what every Premier League team is like that.
Yeah, and it's mad to think. I think it was Villa or was it Arsenal? Well, you looked at the bench and you went, bloody hell, that walks in every single Premier League side. Tonight, you're having to pick Andy Mandy off the streets to come and sit on the bench for you. And you're like, come on. I mean, I don't know why they do 11 subs in the Champions League. I don't understand that. I suppose it's great for Robinson and Charles to go over there and get a bit of experience. People talked about Carlos Borgia. My opinion, don't know anything. I don't think he's got a long-term future at the club. I think he'll be sold.
Which is really unfortunate because that guy's a good player.
I just think he's not the winger Pep wants.
He's not a conformist.
I'm going to mean that Carl is too direct.
He's not and that's a problem. And that is a problem. So we want to go for Kavica at Napoli, who's direct, but we have a kid in there.
We wouldn't sell us a cold.
No, let's assume that he could sell him to us, right? We want somebody who's direct like that, quick on the ball. We have a kid in the academy who's balling in our academy for free, and we'll give him a chance.
Am I getting it far? People are popping at me. I'm not done out. Listen, like I said, I'm probably happy clappy, and maybe it's the way I am. But, I am going to do a show, and it's not about slagging City fans off. I've always said this channel was to bring old and new together. And I'm more determined than ever on this. We need to get some of this City till we die spirit back. I'm sick of this infighting. It's bugging the hell out of me.
It's not infighting, it's frustration today. I think you've got to admit.
No, but I know, Alan, but sometimes the frustration spills. It's like today, Edison pulled off some great saves.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Edison's crap, told you. What?
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with those people.
You can't win.
Don't bother with them.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. For their goal, he got caught under the ball. He did. But also, but also our marking was bloody terrible.
I don't know about VAR. I've lost. I want to do a show on that in the future because I honestly, I'm starting to get to the opinion of I think we're better going back to the way we was.
Well, I agree, but unfortunately, there's too much money involved.
I think VAR is becoming a big problem in football.
Yeah,
it's becoming very subjective.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Martin, just a quick answer to the question. You're looking like a burglar tonight with all your black outfit on and your black hat. Does that come down over your face like that?
No, it doesn't. It's not like that. It's not one of your gimp masks, Alan.
No, right. Okay, no worries.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have holes in his underwear.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm happy clapper. Sorry, yeah, I am. I'm with Pardo. I think Gavardiol is a Rolls Royce. I'd love him at centre. If you can get a summer of Gavardiol, Bellingham, Leao, because he's not as direct.
Again, no left back.
A left back.
Without a left back.
If you can get a Robinson,
are we going to actually sign a left back for the first time in about 7 years? That's what I
do you know what that'll tell us next year? If we buy a fullback, it'll probably give you some indication on whether this three at the back is long term.
And Alan, I know this isn't your favourite topic of discussion, but back three, I would not be surprised if he plays a back three away at Bournemouth. He has a habit of playing back three on smaller grounds, and that's why I think so. Yeah. I think on a smaller ground, you can afford to crowd the midfield a bit more, and I think he will play a back three.
Can I just grab everyone's opinions very quick? Kyle Walker tonight, because I've heard some give him man of the match, and others have slated him.
Well, his final ball wasn't great.
Yeah, but his final ball's never been good, Alan.
Yeah.
No, I've just seen such an array of different opinions on it.
I thought he was for what Kyle is good at, he did well. For what he's not as good at, he did what he normally does. He doesn't pass the ball. Final ball's not as good, but his recovery was good.
I thought. Yeah, he burned Timo Werner. He barely gave Timo Werner any opportunities.
That's it. Yeah.
In counter or in build up or anything, just gave him nothing. He was. I think the least positive thing you could say was he was solid, or he was above his average.
Yes,
yeah. But I thought he was better than that. Yeah, I thought he was great.
Agree.
I thought Grealish
he's not worthy of criticism. He was immune from criticism today.
Grealish and Aki were very good. Grealish was very good first half.
Yes.
I thought Ake was very, very good all the way through.
He was okay. He was okay too in the second half as well.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Ake will always give you a 7 out of 10. Every game, he'll give you a 7 out of 10.
He's a very good footballer. He's a very good
weakness of that back line was Akanji again today. He just loses concentration. He can be on it for 10 minutes and just 1 second he's off.
The best description I've heard of Akanji lately is great beginning, but I'm now starting to see why he's worth only 15 million.
Yeah,
I kind of get it. Yeah. I can't, and I don't, I don't like going in on players. I feel guilty on Phillips, but
when Nkunku came on and he was and Akanji was trying to mark him, you could see it.
Looking forward to seeing Nkunku in the Premier League next year. Actually, I'm just going to go to the washroom, boys. I'll be back in a bit. You can tell he's posh, calls that washroom. If VAR's continuing, they need to fight. Yeah, it's the VAR needs majorly updating or scrapping. I'd go with the latter. I just think, you look at it, we had, let me just get looking at the statistics of the game. I know some will take whatever they don't really want out of this, but the match that 62% possession, 12 shots, 3 on target, 4 corners. Leipzig actually had more shots on target than us. Am I frustrated? Yes. But I also look at this as that of all the English clubs this week, in the last week, we're the only ones to come out with a positive result. Everyone else has come away defeated.
Away, by the way. Away.
Yeah. Liverpool smashed at home. Tottenham beat away, narrowly. Chelsea narrowly beaten, but still beaten.
Martin, how many shots did you say we had total for 90 minutes?
Pardon?
How many shots did you say we had total for 90 minutes?
12 shots, 3 on target.
12 shots, 3 on target for 63% possession. That sounds like numbers, like there are some sort of tactics involved.
I've always thought it was tactical.
Yeah, just
I've never thought this was done on purpose. When does Pep do things by accident? One day, Pep is going to sit down in a press conference and explain all this. And then you will either go, I understand it, or I don't agree with it.
Pep tries to do method without the madness.
Yeah.
If that's the way to put it.
Walker was pulling the ball, he was giving away chilly, but Timo Werner, I didn't even know he was on the pitch. Thought Walker did okay. Grealish final ball is awful as well. I think the Grealish tackle in the first half did affect him a little bit. No, we'll be honest, because it wasn't even a tackle. He sort of went in. The guy went in, pulled out, and Grealish I thought at one point done a ligament. I thought, oh, that's all we need. Thought Walker did all right. But do you know why I've gone back to the tried and trusted stuff, Carl? You were talking about subs. Rico Lewis has suddenly disappeared. He seems to be just thinking, I've got my certain players right now. We're going into March. I need to just focus.
I don't think it's enough, though. If you're going to win the title or win the UCL, it's not enough. You can't just keep playing.
But like you said, can you do both? It's something got to give.
You have to rotate these players and make sure everybody's at the same level as much as possible. You can't keep playing Gundogan and Grealish and Mahrez expect to win the title. You just can't.
So, to my
17, 18 years old, you can't risk the potential burnout as well.
Okay, we'll ask this to everyone.
Talking about Alvarez and what's his name and Foden. They have to play.
Here's a question for all three. I'll start with you, Carl. We've said this about Arsenal all year. Are we going to get to a stage where we're going to have to make a decision?
Yeah.
Because can we keep up this fight with Arsenal without rotating and then roll in the Champions League and the FA Cup as well?
The good thing is that Arsenal also have to make a decision because there's no guarantee they're going to win the Premier League. They're in the Europa League. They also have to make a decision, much like we do. So who blinks first? Because if they don't win the Premier League and they don't win the Europa League, this whole good season is a wash. Nothing. They're out of the FA Cup, they're out of the Carabao Cup, they could be out of the Premier League and out of the Europa League because you have United there, you could have Barcelona there, you can have other teams that are there. So they also have to keep pressing on both fronts.
And Carl, big question mark for Arsenal too is not just the lack of depth. Is that enough to get them through to a Premier League title come May? The other big question is obviously playing Europa League means that they're going to be playing a lot more Premier League matches on a Sunday.
Correct.
The big question is if we're able to put the pressure on by consistently getting 3 points every Saturday from here on out till the end of the season.
Yes.
What's their medal? What's their test of character going to be like when they know that they have to go and win the next day?
Correct.
That becomes a big question mark. So I think as the season progresses, there'll be more question marks on Arsenal than there will be on us.
And let's not forget, the Europa League this year has a lot of really good teams in it. Really good teams. It's not like the years before you had like some team from, Eastern Europe that there's some really, really good teams. We're talking United or Barcelona. We're talking Juve when they come through. We're talking about teams that are really, really good, that are still there. So there's no guarantee.
I will say one thing. City will not compete for the title unless they get a Foden, a fully fit and back in form Foden into this team and playing consistently.
I agree.
We need him, and we need him badly. I'm telling you straight, we need him badly.
Okay. I'm just wondering because
I mean, the comment Matt had there is to win a UCL, you don't have to be the best team. Chelsea
No, you
want to
don't.
be the best team. You don't have to be. You need some luck. You need good moments. And you're there.
Favorable draw.
That's it.
Look at Madrid last year. The quarter-final, semi-final, and final. They got battered in all three. Of those
then went and won it.
And
That's how ironic it is. You get absolutely battered in all your quarters, your semis, your finals, and still walk away with the trophy.
And exactly, and they did. They did. If you think about it, I remember watching the Chelsea game before they played us, and Chelsea smashed them at the Bernabeu.
And then you go on to play the brown cow in some Brazilian final somewhere. It's like hello.
And the other one too is like if you look back at the history of the Champions League, like for maybe the last 10 or 20 years, of those Champions League winners, how many of them actually won their respective domestic title the season before?
Yeah, very few.
Most of them are top four. Most of them are.
Patrick, to your point, in fact, in the Premier League,
that's why I will never get in the Champions League as much as I will the Premier League.
In fact, Patrick, to your point, Patrick, no team since Sir Alex Ferguson's United have won the Premier League and the Champions League in the same season. That's over.
That was 2008.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is 15 years ago.
Yes.
There you go. And didn't it piss you off that it was Fergie again? I hate him.
Martin, before then, did anyone really win it? Apart from them? No one.
No.
Yeah.
Liverpool had won it 2005.
They didn't win the league.
Didn't win the league. They were way off it in the league. They were way off it.
I'm not just talking about English sides. I'm talking about European sides that won it too. Maybe Spanish teams are the exception to that because it's like if Barca or Real Madrid won a Champions League, pretty much guaranteed they won.
Real Madrid are about 10 points off Barca, aren't they?
Last year they won the league and
eight points.
What I mean is, this season, Real Madrid are 9 or 10 points off Barca. So me and Madrid are going to have to make a decision soon because they've got to either start hunting down Barca.
I think they already made the decision yesterday.
Yes.
Or we're going Champions League this year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I agree.
Which actually, but then Barcelona them got to make a decision tomorrow night. This is what I mean. And no to AJ, thank you for your comment, mate. No, we don't have the biggest squad. I've always said that. When people told me we have a big squad, it is a bit of a fallacy because you're throwing in young kids to throw it in. If Rico Lewis hadn't we found a gem in Rico and other things like and Palmer. Take Palmer, Rico, got Perone now. Take Perone out. Scott Carson's included in that squad as well. Do you know what I mean? It does start.
Martin, I think we've got a bit of a stalker on the chat. Just get rid of him, will you?
What do you mean?
Mike Pedo.
All right. I'm just all right.
Just get rid of him.
Let me just block him. He's a West Ham fan as well, which is a bit weird because we
Well,
normally
yeah.
No, not me and him, but normally normally West Ham fans and City fans are actually quite
Get on with that. Yeah.
get on with each other, but clearly he doesn't know his history. No one can figure out Pep only himself. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm just getting these last few comments and then I'm gonna thank the gentleman. City will 1000% spend in the summer. I think Pep has figured out somebody's cannot be won with pretty football. Yeah. Matt has a question. So Alan and Carl, we can't keep clean sheets because our form is bad currently. So we shouldn't choose which comp to go for because we have no indication we'd be super strong and in either.
And we're changing our centre back pairing every single game.
Yeah, correct.
Carl?
What was our best defensive season? 2021. Why? Because we had Stones and Diaz week in week out.
Stones and Diaz.
Yeah, but you can't rely on Stones. He's injury prone, isn't he? He's sick now. He's always getting injured.
I just worry about Akanji. Anytime Akanji plays, we seem to concede at least a goal.
We can't keep clean sheets. I agree with that comment. We can't at the moment, unfortunately.
It's hard to keep a clean sheet, though. It is.
It's time for Guardiola. Yeah. Guardiola will be a blue shirt next season.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I'd like him. I hope you're 100% right.
Because then that's also an auxiliary left back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Why sign a left back when you can sign two at once?
Well, I'm happy with that key. I think he's a good player. I'm happy when he plays.
Do you know what, Scotty Ball? That's a great point. Maybe play some players in their actual positions for a change. But again, that's not Pep. Pep likes the square peg in a round hole. Do you know what? It's like we're 7 years late to the party.
We've got another one. Putin leader. They're doing it. You're getting stalked here, Martin.
If we draw or lose to Bournemouth, just ignore him, Alan. Let the moderator sort it. If we draw or lose to Bournemouth, that's a huge indication that there is a problem within the dressing room. Suppose so. Listen, I know who it is, and it's probably from his gang, so just ignore it. Let him go and deal with his 5 people on his podcast. Let all his 5 followers follow him. This show better than the game. Thank you, Alec Johnson. Appreciate it. Leipzig manager just said Gradville will be at Leipzig next year. Yeah, that means nothing, Kamal. Borussia Dortmund said that Erling Haaland might stay last season. He was never staying. Rusty didn't play well against Forest. It was just a bit of a skill report. Ufla would still say can do better. Getting a clean sheet is not just about defending it. Also, you know, this clean sheet debate, I think we're just in a very weird season. If you look, nobody's really keeping clean sheets. Like Pat, you said on the last one, even Newcastle are now conceding goals out.
Yeah.
Everyone's conceding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, do you know what it is? Cal said something to me about a year ago, and I went, nah, talking rubbish, which I normally do to Cal. I was like, no, you're talking rubbish. And everyone used to say it to me, and I'm like, no. Cal used to say to me that defenders, fullbacks especially, are not there to what's the word? Alan, just ignore it. You're making it to a point. Carl said defenders aren't just defenders anymore.
Unfortunately, they're not.
And they're not. Pep Guardiola, you notice, doesn't want our defenders to go in going crunch, crunch, crunch. It's pretty football. Can you spray a ball 20 yards out over to the wing?
The days of Paolo Maldini is gone.
The days of Vincent Kompany are done. Virgil van Dijk was a great centre-back. Look at him now. He's like Bambi on ice.
The funny thing about this, Patrick, is the fact that whenever we see a defender tackle and crunch tackle, we all celebrate. It used to be the norm. now we all celebrate like, yeah, get stuck in. It is what it is, mate. I'm not going to overthink it. I look at Liverpool, Trent, and what's his name, Robertson. Look at Bayern Munich.
James Ward-Scouse.
You know,
he's got a decent free kick on him, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Look at Barcelona with Alonso and who. I mean, it's just crazy.
Anyway, gentlemen, big
Yep.
thank you. I'm not going to observe the troller anymore because they're just jealous because they couldn't make this a success. Anyway, no, I'm shutting up. I'm keeping quiet. I'm going to end up saying something. Anyway. Don't you love it, Alan? Obsessed.com.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, look at this.
Anyway.
Don't go into Tesco dressed like that, Martin. Don't go into Tesco.
Carl, big thank you for coming on, mate.
Yep.
Where can everyone find you, buddy?
Have a good night.
Carl, tell everyone where they can find you, mate.
Oh, you find me on Pitch Points, or YouTube Pitch Points, and then Twitter, I'm at Gundalorian.
And True City Fan.
And True City Fan, yeah.
Veta Games is meant to be coming on. I don't know what's happened. I've probably got a message in my WhatsApp that I've not had a chance to read yet.
He's probably on the game.
He did seem a bit stressed, didn't he, earlier?
Yeah.
Patrick, thank you, mate. Where can they all find you?
You can find me at MCFC Sydney on Facebook or mcfc.sydneyblues on Instagram. Early Bird Podcast is on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. To anybody out there that is a frequent listener of the show, congratulations for getting through all the nonsense we talk. But we are overdue for a show. And we are Danny and Jeff and myself and Richard trying to tee up another show soon. So we'll keep the faith. We'll be back on the microphone again soon.
I hope so. I've got a lot to vent on here, Pat.
Yeah, I know, but all you care about is algorithms.
No, that's you. You want your algorithm up.
No, I don't care about it. You're just all about stats and that. Give it a week, Alan. Give it a week or two, and Martin's going to start getting on the XG bandwagon. He's going to start.
I know.
He's going to get on all that unnecessary bollocks and everything, and it's just like, yeah, flap your arms around like a seal.
Yeah, no, it's a brilliant podcast. Go and give it a watch. It's on Spotify, SoundCloud. It is really good. And there's about 40 or 50 odd you need to get through. Yeah, it is really good. Patrick as well, Pitch Points, True City Fan, Veta Games TV, and all the family. Go and give them a lot of love. And Alan's Alan.
Yeah, you'll find me in the Imperial when the games are on in top of Spring Street in Melbourne if you want to join all the City fans.
Yeah, so anyway, big thank you to everyone. Don't worry, guys, at least you're top. Oh, wait. Well, still only February, mate. Take care. Manchester City have drawn 1-1, but it's only the first leg. We will tear the house down at the Etihad in 2 weeks' time. And I'm sure we'll go through, but we move on to Bournemouth. There is no show tomorrow because Rich is still away in Dubai. Me and Ozzy, we're going to do a show on Friday instead. I will let you all know what time. Hopefully we can get more people on a Friday. And we'll talk everything Bournemouth. The show I will do about the fans will come in the next week, 10 days, but it's going to be more of it's not a slag match. It's let's get behind each other and let's sort it all out sort of thing. Remember who we are. And but we march on. We've got the FA Cup coming up as well. Bristol City. Big, big time. Not the time to be falling out. Let's get behind the lads. If you can all smash that like button, because it does help the channel. Hitting the like button, the more likes we have, the more it tells YouTube to push your channel out on the algorithm. The more interaction in the chat, it brings people in. The more subscribers, the more the channel's pushed. It's your channel. Make sure you get it pushed. Be proud of it. No, we want a show tomorrow as well. I'm allowed a day off, mate. I'm allowed a day off. We're gonna get trained Ozzy and Rich up to come and host shows as well at some point. Anyway, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Come on, City till we die. Remember that one.
Go on, you Blues.
Where's the exit now? There it is. Bye.